What's he looking at?
He's looking at the clouds. Jeffy! You okay?
Greetings America, Mexico, and remote parts of Cameroon, and welcome to the Suicide Squeeze Baseball Show here on the Fireball Review channel. Well, the march to number 1 continues. I have been running down the 10 greatest baseball movies of all time. Number 10 was Bull Durham. Number 9 was Angels in the Outfield. Number 8 was Field of Dreams. Number 7 was A League of Their Own. Number 6 was Mr. Baseball. Number 5 was The Rookie. Number 4 was Bad News Bears, and I'm about to unveil the number 3 selection. So let's go.
3!
Picture it. The year is 1999. The downfall of Western civilization begins to occur this year when the first ever social media platform, MySpace, is created and makes its way onto the internet. A guy by the name of Jar Jar Binks makes his silver screen debut and sends the Star Wars nerd fandom into an utter frenzy as the prequels are released this year, kicking off with The Phantom Menace. And this was the year that Michael Jordan retired from the NBA for his second of 3 retirements, leaving the Bulls. He would come back a few years later with the Washington Wizards, though. And in the baseball world, this was the year that the Yankees went back-to-back, sweeping the Atlanta Braves in the World Series that year. It was their 3rd title in 4 years. But before that, the Yankees were the victims of one of the greatest beatdowns in the history of sports when, on the final day of the regular season, a legendary Detroit Tigers pitcher was perfect. He pitched a perfect game. His name was Billy Chappell, and it brings me to my number 3 greatest baseball movie of all time, and it is For Love of the Game. Now, ironically enough, much like the aforementioned New York Yankees, who play the villains in this film, because of course they do, this is a baseball movie, and they are the New York Yankees, and they are required to play the bad guys in every single film they appear in. The Yankees, in reality, are a very polarizing group of gentlemen. You either hate the New York Yankees or you love the Yankees. They are 2 very distinctive categories. People are very rigid about these guys, and it's very much like this film. People either love For Love of the Game or they hate the film. There is no in-between. Nobody is indifferent to this film. It's very strange. Obviously, I love the film, but I think one of the reasons why the movie gets such a bad rap against those who don't like the film is it is a baseball movie, but the core of the film is a love story. And I get it. Nobody wants to go to a baseball movie and see The Notebook 2 break out. I get it. I don't like the lovey-dovey nonsense in most of my sports movies either. But in this film, it works. Now, Kevin Costner plays Billy Chappell, the superstar pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. This guy has a World Series ring. He's got several Cy Young Awards hanging on his walls at home. He has done sports car commercials. He has done European suit commercials. He is a very successful fellow. Unfortunately for Billy, now he's at a point in his career where he can see his career mortality, and it is dead ahead. His ERA isn't what it used to be. His pitch velocity is down, and now the only commercials he's doing are for CopperFit knee braces and male enhancement pills. It is a very sorry state of affairs for Billy, and to compound all this, now his girlfriend, his longtime girlfriend, has broken up with him at the beginning of the film, and it is a very sad situation. Chappell's bad day continues when the longtime owner of the Tigers, Mr. Wheeler, a guy who sort of serves as a fatherly figure towards him as well, informs him that he will be selling the Tigers at season's end to a giant corporation, and the corporation's first order of business will be to trade Billy Chappell to the Giants. Wheeler had no knowledge of this, and Billy is extremely confused because he's a lifelong Tiger. He doesn't want to play for anyone else, but he's still not sure if he wants to retire yet. He's got a lot going through his mind, and oh yeah, he's got to go to Yankee Stadium just a couple of hours and try to prevent the Yankees from clinching the division against his beloved Tigers. So he's dealing with a complete disastrous situation. Another key figure in this film is Chappell's catcher, Gusinsky, played by John C. Reilly, and I realize it is extremely hard to imagine John C. Reilly in any type of serious movie role after the shenanigans that went on in Step Brothers with the drum set and so forth. But I love the dynamics that he has with Chappell in this film because The pitcher-catcher relationship in baseball is a very special, very unique one. If you're a pitcher, I used to be a pitcher, not at the professional level, obviously, but you have a special relationship with your catcher. There's always one catcher you prefer over the other. At the beginning of this film, when Chapel's warming up in the bullpen, the manager tells him he's not going to be starting Gus because he hasn't been hitting lately, and he tells him basically, he either catches or I don't pitch. That is a very pitcher thing to do, and I love the way Chapel goes to bat for him. Throughout the movie, Gusinsky returns the favor and is constantly looking out for Chapel and giving him pep talks on the mound. And as Chapel pitches inning by inning, he has these flashbacks, most of which with regards to his relationship with Jane, how they meant, their happy times, their sad times, all the regrets he has, because the relationship ending had really a lot to do with him. Baseball got in the way a lot of the times. His ego got in the way a lot of the times. But again, this movie is not a sequel to The Notebook. A lot of these flashbacks are baseball related. One of them in particular is of an outfielder by the name of Davis Birch, who used to play for the Tigers before he signed a landmark deal to go play for the Yankees, and now Chapel and the Tigers are facing off against him in this game. My personal favorite sequence takes place at Fenway Park when Chapel and the Tigers are taking on the Red Sox. A ball is hit very deep. It goes off the head of a Tigers outfielder over the fence for a game-winning home run. After the game, this Tiger player is completely devastated. He is embarrassed. He is ashamed. He has dishonored his family, his country, and his teammates. He is off dejected in the corner of a locker room. Chapel corners him. He gives him some words of encouragement. And it comes back to Chapel because in present time, Chapel is pitching a perfect game into the 8th inning against the Yankees. But he's struggling at this point in time. He has not pitched this deep into a game in a very long time. His velocity is down. He throws a pitch to his old teammate Davis Birch, who hits a ball that should have been a home run. It could have been a home run. It wasn't a home run because the guy that he cornered in that locker room at Fenway Park, he gave that pep talk to, makes a game-saving catch. He brings the ball back from over the fence, preserving the perfect game. The point of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, if someone is going through a hard patch in their life, it's always good to give them some words of encouragement, because they might come back. That individual might come back down the road and save your ass in a tight spot. Now, perhaps the most amazing aspect of this film is the fact that you have Vin Scully, the longtime broadcaster for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and you guys know I am a certified Dodger hater. But Vin Scully is the greatest sports announcer in the history of humanity. I mean, I could listen to this guy read the phone book, the names in the phone book off. That's how good this guy is. When he is narrating this perfect game that Chapel is conducting at Yankee Stadium, it is a work of art. And the fact that he pretty much, the director of this film told him to just wing it, basically. This was not in the script. None of his dialogue in this movie is in the script. Vin is an absolute living legend, and this movie just proves it. I would say For Love of the Game would probably not be this high on the list if it wasn't for the narration by Vin Scully. I would say it would be number 6 or number 7.
I think he might be able to use that aching old arm one more time to push the sun back up in the sky and give us one more day of summer.
Another moment in this film that I love is when Wheeler is telling Chapel that he's going to be selling the team and that the game stinks now, that free agency has ruined the game and all the rule changes have ruined the game. I can totally relate to this because in recent weeks and recent months over the last year, a lot of decisions have been made by Major League Baseball that I am not a fan of at all, that I don't agree with at all. But no matter how badly human beings will try to ruin this game, it's still a beautiful game, and Chapel gets Wheeler off to the side and says,
The game doesn't stink, Mr. Wheeler. It's a great game.
And as Chapel takes his perfecto into the 9th inning, he gets the first 2 outs of the inning, and he has this epic crescendo moment where everyone at Yankee Stadium who's been heckling this man, who has been cursing at this man, who has been doing everything they could to get this man off of his game, suddenly are cheering for him. And this is one of the great aspects of Major League Baseball. When a guy takes a perfect game into the 9th inning and he gets those first 2 outs, suddenly everyone, no matter where they're playing, for the most part, I'm generalizing here, but for the most part, everyone begins rooting for that guy to finish the perfect game, even if he's in the opposing stadium. And it's just one of the beautiful aspects of Major League Baseball. Now, I won't give away the ending to this movie in case you have not seen the film, and some of you, I hope you give it a second look, because I think it's a criminally underrated baseball movie. I think it's Costner's greatest movie he's ever done, not just baseball movie, but any type of movie he's done. It is 10 flaming Filet-O-Fishes out of a possible 10. But now I want to hear from you guys. Have you seen For Love of the Game? Do you like the movie? Do you hate the movie? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're a fan of any of the other 29 teams besides the Yankees, what is the most prominent free agent, the one that really broke your heart, that left your squad and went to the Yankees? I would say for us on the Angels, it was probably Mark Teixeira back in 2008. That was a very sad situation. We really needed a first baseman. Nonetheless, I think we used that draft pick to draft Mike Trout, so it worked out for us. But let me know down below what yours is. And as always, hit that dislike button if you didn't like this video. Otherwise, see you next time with the #2 greatest baseball movie of all time. Toodles!